I just love Edinburgh, one of Britain's most beautiful and distinguished cities. And it consists of at least two towns. This is the old one, where the buildings cling to the city's steep slopes. And they're built high and thin, early skyscrapers. And this is the Royal Mile, which joins the castle behind me and the Palace of Holyrood House at the bottom. And then it was adorned with fine public buildings, a cathedral, and statues commemorating those figures of the great Scottish Enlightenment and scholarship. The landscape of the city is dominated by the remnants of an ancient volcano, leaving Castle Rock, topped by Edinburgh Castle, and Arthur's Seat, the highest point in the city, which sits 251 meters above sea level. It's a wilderness in the heart of this busy city, and I'm going to hike to the summit with paleontologist Dr. Katie Strang. Katie, hello.
Hello.
Seated on Arthur's Seat.
I am indeed.
Shall we head on up?
Yeah.
This is very exciting for me because I used to come and see my grandparents in Kirkcaldy, and I could see Arthur's Seat all the time. Because it was called Arthur's Seat, I thought a bit about the mythology and Arthurian legends and so on. I never really thought about it as a piece of geology, and I never thought of setting foot on it. It's the first time I've set foot on it.
I think growing up as kids, it's always had that kind of mysterious legend to it. But I think for me, I just love how it's so prominent in the landscape here.
Well, it certainly is. It's 3 miles up to the summit, and it's a bit of a puff. You know, this has taken me by surprise. It's such a well-known landmark that I kind of assumed there'd be an asphalt path to the top.
I know.
It's rather good that you have to actually climb. And boy, is it worth it. Well, Katie, what a fantastic view this is. My old Bradshaw's Guide compared Edinburgh to Athens, and I used to chortle about that. But there's something in it, because Edinburgh is dominated by Arthur's Seat, Athens by the Acropolis, and that's quite unusual to have a city dominated by a huge natural feature, and it's very distinctive of Edinburgh, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. And what we're standing on just now is the remnants of an ancient volcano that erupted about 350 million years ago. And I think that connection of this being that high point in the landscape is what's drawn ancient civilizations to this area for, you know, hundreds of thousands of years.
What do we know about which peoples lived here and when?
Well, we know that there has been a lot of different periods of settlement here, and that includes Neolithic and Mesolithic settlements, sort of arrowheads and things that have been found, worked tools.
The high volcanic mounds gave settlers strategic views over the land, the Firth of Forth, and the coast beyond. The area's geology has also played a defining role in the city's appearance today, dictating both its look and layout. Even before the railways, the waterways had helped to shape the Industrial Revolution in this region. The Forth and Clyde Canal carved a trade route from coast to coast. Here, where the canal meets the River Carron, a huge eco-park was built in 2013. The centrepiece is a sculpture, an unmissable local landmark. Kelpies are beasts from Scottish mythology. They could take the shape of water horses, or they could assume human form with hoofs. Rabbie Burns, in his poem addressed to the Deil, or devil, was in no doubt that they were satanic. Then water kelpies haunt the ford. At your direction, united travellers are allured to their destruction. Now that legend has grown into the largest equine sculpture in the world. The Kelpies stand over 30 meters high and weigh more than 300 tons each. The sculpture also pays homage to the industrial heritage of Scotland. since workhorses pulled the wagons, ploughs, barges and coal ships that shaped the region. The sculptor of these magnificent Kelpies is Andy Scott. Scott by name, Scott by nationality. But unfortunately at the moment he's in the United States. I'd love to talk to him. So what does one do now? Make a video call, of course. Andy, how are you?
Hello. Hi, Michael.
Can you see your Kelpies in the background there?
I can indeed, and they're looking splendid in the sunshine there in Falkirk. Fantastic. Very nice to see them.
Duke and Baron, as I believe they're called, what kind of horses were they modelled on?
Well, they were modelled on two big Clydesdales from Glasgow City Council. They actually used to have several Clydesdales. I contacted them and asked if I could have one of the horses as a model in my studio. So they came up with the handlers, and they were just fantastic models and a wonderful subject matter.
To what extent was Scottish engineering one of your inspirations here?
Yeah, it was always in the back of my mind from the beginning of the project. I was born and raised in Glasgow, and as you know, a great industrial city of the past.
And how do you think they're looking today, gleaming in the sun?
They look just marvellous, Michael. It's almost making me homesick. You know, one of the things I could never fully imagine was the way that Mother Nature responds and treats the sculptures, and they just look incredible there in that setting.
Andy, thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.
No problem, Michael. Absolute pleasure. All the best.
Bye.
See you again. Bye-bye.
Wasn't that great?